Here we are at lesson 11, where we're going to learn about capturing and recording. The first thing that we're going to learn about is how we take and do screen captures. Then we're going to go through how to actually do animated recordings. Lesson 11 is going to teach you two things, both dealing with taking whatever is on the screen and either recording it or simply taking a snapshot of it. We've done a little bit with that when we did the ink layer and we pressed the little camera up there and it sucked it up into that tiny little vortex and slammed it onto our page for us. But this time it's going to be a slightly more sophisticated, a little bit more involved version of capturing / recording. All we're going to do for right now is we're going to take a look at where we access both the capture and the recording. So let's take a look up here at the top of the screen. And once again, we're going to see something that looks a lot like a little camera icon. To access anything where we want to take a picture or a snapshot or at least grab a section of a page, we're going to use this icon. So all you have to do is click on it one time and you're going to get a dialog box that pops up here. From here you're going to get three different options. You can either capture a selection of the window, you can grab the entire window, for instance whatever is encased within a blue region. For instance, this little window right here, I could capture just this window because I know it's a window. It has that Microsoft Windows blue border around it. If you pick this option, you can pick whatever window you have open at the time and capture that window. On this one, you can actually capture the entire screen, and here you can lasso a selection. We'll take a deeper look at those in just a moment, but let's go over to the screen recording now. The screen recording actually captures anything in the notebook that you can move around or manipulate, and it actually does a timed recording so that it's like a mini video for you or a mini animation. If we move our way over here to the palette again, we're going to revisit the properties palette. And as I promised earlier, we're going to start taking a look at how do we do recordings, because so far we've taken a look at fill effects up here and all the different things that you can do with the properties of an object, an image, a page, whatever you're working on. But now we're going to take a look at page recording. So if you are on fill effects and it looks like this, you need to click on the page recordings. You have two very simple buttons. You can either start recording or you can play things that you have already recorded. That is where you access recording. Up here is where you access screen capture. That's about all we need to know for now, except for I'm just going to remind you at this time that there are things that you do when you're up here, you're in front of the class, you're teaching, you're going about your business, and you're getting things done. You're taking care of your lesson objectives. And then there are things that you do back in your office, actually. Things where you prepare your lesson, or you're modifying or making sure that you're ready for your lesson. Both the screen capture and the recording here are probably utilities that you're going to be most often using in your office and not necessarily in your classroom. Before we get into some of the more intricate parts of screen capture like freehand drawing or things like that, let's review very quickly what we did with some of the Microsoft applications. For instance, I can open up right here Microsoft Word, and you'll see right here once again I've got this Smart Capture to Notebook icon right here. It looks like a camera, and if I click that, it takes a snapshot of whatever I'm doing in Microsoft Word and it captures it to the notebook software. I'm going to close this down. That same option can be found obviously within some of the other Microsoft applications also, but some of those same exact capture options or similar capture options can be found just about anywhere you go because of the floating toolbar. Let's bring that floating toolbar in here. We should recall using this. We've been using it several times throughout the entire series of lessons here. And now I'm going to use it to capture things. But we're going to have to regress way back to one of the very first lessons to do this, because right now on my floating toolbar, I don't have the option to capture anything because I don't have my capture icon up here. In order to use that capture icon, I have to put the icon on my floating toolbar. So I'm going to just right click on the toolbar right here, and I get this little dialog box, this customize your floating toolbars dialog. This should look familiar to you. It's been a while since we looked at it, but we used it quite extensively back in one of the first lessons.